30 years ago, I would never dare to tell my parents that I'm going to grow up to run a web design agency, design websites, content creation, record videos, and do stuff like that. I mean, to be honest, 30 years ago, we didn't really have the smartphone. The internet was still quite a new thing. YouTube, Google, they didn't exist. And the whole content creation thing would have just sounded like a fad. And if you said to people, oh, I'm going to record videos and teach people how to do things, my mum and dad would have accused me of maybe creating videos for weddings, going around with a camcorder and recording stuff, because that's kind of what a lot of video creation was back then if you weren't a film or a TV producer. What I'm trying to get at is that society and things have moved on, okay? Because back then, even as a child, a lot of our parents kind of wanted us to be successful. You're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be an accountant, and there's nothing wrong with those professions. You know, even I at one point thought, oh, maybe I'll become a doctor, and I did 2 years of a medical degree in orthoptics. I dropped out of that because I had a brain tumor in 1999, and it kind of railroaded my life for quite a while. I went and got a law degree, but to be honest, I've never really used a law degree to get anywhere in life with regards to my careers in the NHS or eventually into web design as well. But if we go back, for a lot of you, if you think back to when you were a child, what did your parents want you to become or not to become? Or what kind of plans did they have for you? And I'm pretty sure it wasn't related to what I like to call the gig economy. Now, some people don't like that term when it comes to web design or content creation, graphic design, logo design, any of that kind of thing. People go, it's not a gig economy. We're businesses, we're working with clients. But in a way, it is a gig economy. We're offering services, whether it's to transform their website, their branding, or even to collaborate with someone to create a promotional video. You know, we do lots of things. But the way society is now, a lot of professions and things that we would have maybe been a little bit ashamed of admitting that we are interested in or we are doing, people now acknowledge that they want to work with us. Now, look, I've already told you 30 years ago, 40 years ago almost even, you know, I'm nearly 47 now. My parents were like, yeah, you might grow up to become a doctor. My ambition back then was to work in the comic book industry at 6, 7 years old. I loved reading comics, but my parents did not see that. And when I got to my 15, 16-year-old age bracket, you know, just done my GCSEs, I wanted to go and study drama and graphic design at college and hopefully university. And my parents would not have that. I kind of got told you got to do mathematics and chemistry and biology. I also went and did psychology as well. So I did 4 A levels at the time. But I wasn't pursuing what I wanted to do. And it's because it was a little bit shameful to even indicate that you were going to go into the comic book industry. Loads of these trades, they're seen to be laughable. They're seen to be dead end. It's not going to lead anywhere. No one's going to marry you. You won't be able to support yourself. But now, look at where we have come. And I feel like there is a transition and a change in society and ourselves and how we view ourselves. We shouldn't be ashamed to say we design websites. You know, I'm a graphic designer. I collaborate or I create videos on YouTube. I'm an influencer, content creator, however you want to term it, okay? You should not be ashamed because right now, businesses more than ever want to work with people who understand SEO, website optimization, e-commerce, payment gateways. How can I get out there with Google adverts and sponsored stuff? How can I promote my brand, my marketing? And that's the other thing also, right? They want to work with people who are going to tell them how to write on social media, how to present themselves, how to put across their message, their brand, basically at the end of the day, which is why I've been doing a few more videos on that, mainly because I've realized that I can keep putting out videos about web design, you know, left, right, center all day long. There's a lot of people that still don't even understand themselves what they stand for or what they're even advertising on their own websites. Hey, I'm a web designer. I can design websites. I can do X, Y, Z for you. Why is a client going to choose to work with you if you don't understand yourself? Sorry, let me get back to the point of this video. There is a transitional change. And I think that in 10, 15 years time, you're not going to like bat an eyelid if you find out that someone creates videos or someone designs logos. You're going to look at them and think, wow, what do you use? And this is the point of what I'm trying to get to. If you go back 20, 30 years ago, and you knew someone created like a product, like a poster, even a leaflet, you kind of like, oh yeah, that's really cool. Well, I do this. And that's kind of what I used to pick up on, even back then. You know, even though I wasn't a web designer per se then, it was more of a side hustle and I worked in the NHS. It's a bit like when I wrote books. Sorry, I keep jumping around, so let me try and make sense of this. I used to write fiction books, right? And if someone said to me, "Oh, what do you do in your spare time?" and I say, "Yeah, creative writing, young adult science fiction." And if you go search for me on Amazon, you will find some of my books that are already out there. Whether you like them or not, that's up to you to decide. But I would say I write books, and people would respond with, "You must have too much time on your hand." It was never about, "Oh, wow, so what's your process? You know, do you have a way of writing, deciding on your chapters, your characters, the conflict, protagonist, antagonist, all about?" It was always like, "Oh, you must have way too much time." I would never have time to write a book. I work solidly. I was sometimes pulling in 70 to 90 hours per week when I worked in the NHS. But people still thought I had too much time. Why? Because you carve out the time. You sacrifice some of the luxuries of life to get done what you believe in. Whereas now, if someone said to me they write or they design logos or they record videos or they design websites, I'm going to take some interest in what page builder are you using? What tools are you using? What editing software are you using? What equipment do you have? Do you have your own studio? Is anyone in your family helping you out? Do you have access to like a special editor? Are they open for work? Are they looking for work? Do you need help with your cover art? There's so many avenues now that we can explore and converse with. Like if you find out someone is like an influencer, you may have an opinion of them. We can't deny that, okay? If you find out someone's like, really doing well on TikTok or Insta or Twitter or whatever, you may be a little bit dubious because we know there's a lot of fake gurus and content creating experts out there. We know that exists. But if you kind of believe in them and you trust them and you've seen what they put out and you kind of like what they do, you will take a bit of interest in it, won't you? And if we imagine our generation now, in 20 years' time, when a lot of our children are adults, they maybe have their own children or whatnot, and you find out that your child or grandchild or a friend or a relative or someone has stepped into the content creation world, and whether you like it or not, web designing is content creation, right? Whether you're even just doing the logo or a hero banner or even the copywriting, you're creating, okay? We are probably going to take a bigger interest. And it is a cutthroat world, right? And with AI and things developing and coming out, you do start to wonder, well, will there still be a role for the web designer and the logo designer and stuff like that? But whatever happens, I think we need to ride the wave and roll with it. And we will find our place. And I would like to think that the world isn't all about just becoming a lawyer or a doctor or an accountant or a solicitor or anything like that. We still need them, teachers, all of that. We still need them. But isn't it great to be able to be proud of creating content? I think so.